Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. America, the land of the free. Our country has been at the forefront of almost every groundbreaking discovery, and we are one of the most influential nations in the world. We are one of the first democracy in the world, and it gives our citizens the right to vote on their leaders, pick who they want to run their country. But unfortunately, our citizens are being deceived. Our voting system is not as equal as you would like to think. It does not give you enough representation as an individual American, and that is a problem that we must fix. The Electoral College has crippled our system for years to come before this, and it will continue to cripple our system for years to come after. We must change this system. Every citizen, after they vote, should feel like it mattered. And the unfortunate reality is that today is just not the truth. The Electoral College has rigged states blue or red. There are safe states and there are swing states. And the people who are in those safe states, if they vote other ways that are opposed to the ways that their states are voting, their votes do not matter. If you are a red voter in California, your vote does not matter. If you are a red voter in New York, your vote does not matter. If you are a blue voter in Texas, your vote does not matter. How can we ask the American people to take time out of their days to go vote for a presidential candidate, which recently we have not even been nominating the best presidential candidates, but it's not even accurately representing the wants of the American people? The last election that Mr. Donald Trump won, he did not win the popular vote. He won the electoral vote rather handily. If you were to look at that electoral vote and then look at the popular vote, you would have thought that it would have been two different elections. This is the fifth time in United States history that has happened, where a presidential candidate that has won the popular vote did not win the presidency. The Electoral College must go, and it proves that every day. It is predetermined half of America and created a significant disadvantage for Republican candidates as well. Big states like California and New York are already penciled in blue. And while the Republicans have Texas, most Republicans must take Florida and Ohio, two swing states, to win the election. Oftentimes, if one of the Democrats wins one of those states, the election is generally over. A person can become president by only winning 21.8% of the popular vote. Barely over a fifth of the American people can vote you into office, and you can still be elected by the elite class that we have to call electors. The Americans are the ones taking times out of their day to vote for a candidate. It should be taken seriously. It should not be taken as a mere suggestion for elites who we have never seen, who we have never met, and we will never meet. Why should they get to decide on our everyday policies, on our candidate that's going to take care of us every day? We are the working class of America. We are the backbone. We are what makes this country run, and we should demand more power at the voting office because we deserve it. Not because we want it, but because we deserve it. Another reason why this system is so flawed is it has created a very unproportional voting system. The state of Wyoming has a population of 579,315 people. They have 3 electoral votes. That gives them 193,105 people per electoral vote in Wyoming. The state of California has 55 electoral votes, but they have a population of 39.54 million people. When you break it down, that gives the power to the voters of California 1 vote for every 718,909 people. That gives Wyoming voters almost 3 times more power than a great state like the voters in California. That means if you are voting in a state like Wyoming or North Dakota, you will probably have more power than California or Texas voters. I have a couple suggestions to this problem that we call the Electoral College. It will not be an easy fix, and there may not be one policy that can fix this. But my first suggestion is we must add the popular vote to the Electoral College. We must take 60 electoral votes and we must allocate them to the popular vote. We have to give the American people some representation, and accurate representation of what they want and what they need during this election. That gives them the amount of votes of, say, a state of the size of California, which, if you break it down, the American people versus 60 electoral votes, that would give them by far the weakest voting power out of any state in the Electoral College. We would have to redo the margins, but overall, if we can get American people coming to the polls, feeling like their votes matter, we will get more votes, we will get more accurate elections, and we will start becoming the country that we once were. We must rise back up into the greatness that we once were, but we must reevaluate our mistakes and learn from them. And the Electoral College is one of our mistakes. It gives votes to the most privileged electors, not the American people. It gives votes to the most privileged electors. The American people are the ones breaking their backs every day for this country. We're the ones paying the taxes. We're the ones paying these electors out of our pockets, and they will not even listen to our suggestions. And worse yet, there is no legal obligation for them to listen to our suggestions. Every single person in the state of California could vote red tomorrow, but if the electors decide that they do not want to vote red, they will not vote red, and that state will be voting blue. We must show these people how the American people really think. We do not think out of greed, power, and hunger. Instead, we hunger for a viable democracy and equal and fair voting rights, and we have not been satisfied this far. And American people cannot be satisfied until they rectify the Electoral College. Thank you, Americans, and good night.